Hi, I'm Mary, and today I'm going to tell you a story that happened right here at home, something that started out simple and joyful but turned into something no one in my family could have imagined. You see, my son and his grandpa decided to build a treehouse in our backyard. It was supposed to be just a fun project, a way for them to spend time together and create something special. But one morning, when we woke up, everything changed. Something happened in that treehouse that left us all shocked and wondering what was really going on. If you're curious about what we found and why it shook our family to the core, make sure you hit the subscribe button now and join us on this journey, because this story is not just about a treehouse, it's about secrets hidden for years right under our noses. Now, I want you to imagine a sunny day with birds singing and two people working happily on a wooden structure that little by little is becoming a place full of laughter and memories. My son, his bright eyes full of excitement, and his grandpa with hands weathered by time but still steady and strong, building that dream together. Everything seemed perfect, but little did we know that perfect was about to change forever. Every tool they used, every nail hammered down was part of something bigger than just wood and nails, something that would uncover mysteries and bring us closer to things we never thought existed. I won't keep you waiting much longer, because the truth is stranger than fiction. But before we go deeper into what happened in that treehouse, I want to ask you to leave a comment down below telling me if you've ever found something unexpected at home, or if you've ever had a family project turn into something surprising. I read every comment and love hearing your stories, so don't be shy. This is our story and your story. Now let's get ready, because the moments ahead will surprise you, and you will want to stay until the end to see what we discovered. So here is where our adventure begins. A simple treehouse, a bond between a boy and his grandfather, and a secret waiting to be uncovered. My son is a curious and energetic boy who loves spending time outside and building things with his hands. His grandfather is the kind of man who values family above everything and enjoys sharing stories and skills from his youth. Together, they make the perfect team. So when they decided to build a treehouse in our backyard, I thought it was just another fun way to keep them busy and happy. The backyard itself is a place full of memories. It has big trees, a swing set, and enough space for imagination to run wild. The tree they chose was strong and tall, perfect for a little hideaway, a place where my son could play and feel like a king in his own castle. For days they worked together, measuring, sawing, and hammering. Each plank of wood was placed with care, and every nail hammered and was a step closer to their dream. It was more than just a project, it was a way for them to connect to each other and to the past, because the grandfather used to build tree houses with his own father, and that made the whole thing even more special. I remember watching from the kitchen window, seeing them laugh, share ideas, and sometimes argue about the best way to make the roof watertight or how to make a secret door. The excitement was contagious, and I looked forward to seeing the finished treehouse every day. The project brought a new light to our home, but as days passed, something strange started to happen. Small things at first, tools misplaced or moved from where they were left, or sounds at night that I couldn't explain. I would brush it off, telling myself it was just the wind or the house settling, but deep down I felt that something was different. Maybe it was just my imagination, or maybe there was something more hiding behind those branches that looked so innocent. During the day, the treehouse became a symbol of fun and family, but also a place where the unknown seemed to creep in, little signs that whispered that this story was about to take a turn. I was not prepared for. My son started telling me about strange noises he heard when he was up there, shadows moving just at the edge of his sight. And while the grandfather tried to laugh it off and say it was just the imagination of a child, I knew that something was stirring, and it was only a matter of time before we would find out what it was. I don't want to rush ahead, but you need to understand that what seemed like a simple family project was turning into a mystery that would challenge everything we believed about our home, our family, and even about ourselves. So keep watching, because the next part will reveal the first signs that something was really wrong, and trust me, you will want to hear every detail as it unfolds. After a few days of working on the treehouse, things started to get weird. At first it was small things like tools disappearing or being moved from where we left them, but then it got stranger. One night I woke up because I heard noises outside, sounds like scratching and soft footsteps near the tree. At first I thought maybe it was an animal or the wind, but the sounds kept coming night after night, and it started to make me nervous. My son said he heard whispers when he was playing up in the treehouse, and sometimes he swore he saw shadows moving just beyond his vision. The grandfather tried to explain everything away, saying it was just the imagination of a child or maybe the wind, but I could see he was also uneasy. One afternoon, we found the ladder to the treehouse had been moved from its usual spot, and the wood looked like it had been scratched deeply in several places. The feeling in the air changed, and suddenly the fun project felt less safe, more mysterious. My son started to ask if the Treehouse was haunted, and I had to admit I was starting to feel that maybe something was going on. We decided to watch the treehouse closely, and one night when we were all outside, the shadows seemed to grow darker and the noises louder. But every time we got close, the sound stopped, as if whatever was there didn't want us to find it. Then one morning something unexpected happened. The grandfather called me to the backyard with a strange look on his face. He said he had found something hidden inside the tree itself, a small wooden box covered in dust and cobwebs. Inside the box were objects that looked very old photographs, a rusted key, and some pieces of paper with strange writing. None of it made sense to us, but it was clear these things had been there for a very long time. Finding that box was the moment when our simple treehouse project became something much bigger and more mysterious, something that would change the way we saw our home and our family forever. After finding the old wooden box hidden in the tree, the days that followed were filled with strange occurrences that none of us could explain. The old photographs showed people we didn't recognize standing in front of our house, but dressed in clothes from a time long before we ever lived here. The rusted key was unlike any key we had seen, and the papers covered in strange symbols made us wonder what secrets the box was hiding. Each night the noises around the treehouse seemed to grow louder and the shadows more defined. My son started saying he saw figures moving just beyond the branches, and sometimes he claimed the treehouse door would creak open by itself when no one was near. The grandfather, who had been so confident, suddenly grew quiet and serious. He warned us to be careful and said that the box might be connected to something from our family's past that he never told us about. One evening, as we sat together trying to make sense of what we had found, my son looked up at me wide-eyed and said he thought someone or something was watching him from the woods behind the house. I tried to calm him, but the fear in his voice was real, and that night none of us slept well. The next morning we decided to explore the treehouse more carefully, and that's when we noticed something strange. The wood on one side looked newer, as if it had been repaired or changed recently, but we were sure no one else had been there. Then came the moment that shocked us all. We found footprints around the base of the tree. Unlike any animal tracks, we knew they were too big and too deep to be human, but definitely not from any creature we recognized. My son was convinced it was a sign that the treehouse was more than just a place to play. It was a gateway to something unknown. The grandfather confessed that when he was younger, his father told him stories about the land. The house was built on stories about hidden things buried in the earth and secrets kept safe by the trees. Those stories sounded like old legends, but now they felt real and close and dangerous. With every passing day, the mystery deepened, and we couldn't help but feel we were getting closer to something big, something that would change our family forever. After days of confusion and growing fear, we decided to open the wooden box together to see if it held any clues that could explain what was happening. Inside were old photographs of strangers standing in front of our house dressed in clothes from a time long past, but the most unsettling discovery was a letter written in shaky handwriting that spoke of a secret hidden beneath the treehouse, a secret that had been protected by generations of our family. The letter hinted at a promise made long ago and warned anyone who found it to be careful, because some secrets were meant to stay buried. As we read the letter, the grandfather became pale and silent. For the first time, he shared a part of his past he had never spoken about the stories his own father told him about this land and the hidden things beneath it. It was a moment that changed everything. What we thought was just a fun family project was now a doorway to a mystery that stretched back through time. The treehouse was more than wood and nails. It was a guardian of a secret that someone wanted to keep hidden from us. As we stood there in the backyard, the air thick with tension, I felt a mixture of fear and determination. We had to find out the truth, no matter the cost. But little did we know the path we were about to take would challenge everything we believed about our family and our home. The day after reading the letter, we went back to the treehouse determined to uncover the secret. It was a sunny afternoon, but the air felt heavy, as if the tree itself was holding its breath. As we approached the treehouse, I noticed something different. The wood on the side, where we had seen signs of recent repair, now had a faint outline of a door, something we had never noticed before. My son was the first to find the small handle hidden behind a loose plank, and when he pulled it open, a narrow, dark passage revealed itself. Inside, the cramped space smelled of earth and old wood. We squeezed through and found ourselves in a tiny hidden compartment carved inside the tree trunk. It was dusty and filled with cobwebs, but what caught our attention was an old leather-bound diary lying on a wooden shelf covered in dust. The diary was fragile, but the pages inside held stories and secrets about our family history. The handwriting was careful and detailed. It spoke of a forgotten chapter of our ancestors, their struggles, their fears, and a pact made to protect a powerful secret linked to the land our home was built on. The more we read, the more the pieces of the puzzle started to come together. But the diary also warned of dangers that came with revealing too much. The shadows we saw, the noises, the strange happenings were tied to the secret we had uncovered. It was as if the treehouse was a gatekeeper keeping something locked away from the world. My son looked at me with wide eyes and whispered that He was scared but wanted to know the truth. The grandfather, who had been silent for so long, finally spoke, telling us that this secret had haunted his family for generations, and that now it was our turn to face it. The atmosphere was thick with a mix of fear, excitement, and determination. The climax of our story was here, and there was no turning back.